Welcome to our SME Talk. 2019 is a very special year because it's a European year, and 26th of May is the European election. So it's a pleasure to have here today Manfred Weber, who is our Spitzenkandidat of the European People's Party, and welcome you to our talk, and thanks for being here.
Thanks for the opportunity.
So, Mr. Weber, in 2016 you were awarded the German Elite SME Award. This means you have a passion for the SMEs, you are strongly committed, and SMEs are not only a strong backbone for our social market economy, they are not only providing jobs, but they are also developing a strong fundament for the future. So what is your message for the SME community in Europe?
First of all, I myself, I started with a startup, with a classical startup after I studied physics. And that's why I know exactly what it means to be a small, medium enterprise, to start with the bureaucracy at the beginning, you see, to look for money, to have trust from investors, and then to go to your first contract, to convince someone to sign your first contract. And that is what you have to do. So you have to be passionate for what you are doing. And that is what I see with small and medium enterprises. They are today's fundament of our today's European economy. And that's why the next European Commission must have a close eye about the interests of the small and medium enterprises. And probably one general reflection is that in the future we must make a kind of a difference between regulation for the big giants, for the big companies, and the small medium enterprises, because they have other conditions to deal with the regulations.
Yes. Okay. European Union is a task. It's all about developing trust, confidence, and get sustainable development, and to ensure sustainable development. So this also means bringing different nations together, making different cultures working together. So how would you encourage business and politics to work together?
Well, we saw first of all that the idea of the European single market is the fundament for our today's economic strength of the European Union, and additionally our common currency, the euro. Both have to be defended, both have to be even developed in the future, because especially in the European single market, I see a lot of possibilities, a lot of potential to still grow in the European Union. So that is the first aspect. And the second aspect is the contribution again from the small medium enterprises has a lot to do, from my point of view, with the economic, let me say, surrounding, because a lot of them are depending also on big companies. They are in a network, let me say, together. And that's why I'm a politician of trade. I love to have free trade agreements on the global level. I voted for CETA. I voted for the trade agreement with Japan in December last year.
Yes.
So I think that's important, that we are still ready for trade with other nations on global level. That is a task for Europe. And I must tell you that also from the left we have politicians, political parties who are opposing to this idea of free trade. And that is at stake. Do we have still a majority for free trade? That means economic growth, or do we don't have this?
Okay. For all this, to make it happen, we need talents. And scarcity of professional skilled workers is a topic which is discussed in different nations in the European Union. So how can we encourage the different EU nations to work together, have more exchange among each other to solve this issue?
A great question, because we have still a lot of young people without the perspective of a job. So in the south of Europe, in Greece, in Italy, in Portugal, a lot of people are suffering still from the crisis times. And that's why we have to build up an European labor market where we have really an exchange of talents in the European Union. I want to guarantee that nobody is forced to leave his home region only to economic reasons. So I want to guarantee that nobody must go because of the salaries or something like this. But we have the freedom of movement as a big important principle of Europe. And that's why we have to build up an European labor market, especially for the talents, for those who have a good education. Therefore, I think the establishment of a new agency, which is guaranteeing, let me say, the same conditions. Also the regulation, what is about my social benefits, about my pensions and so on when I work in other countries. These things have to be clarified on European level, or even better organized on European level, to make it easier to have really a real market for labor forces. But I must tell you, on top of this, for sure we have to look for the talents on global level. And
Yes.
we see about the demand also from SME companies, especially in the high-tech field, then they have also need for global talents, and therefore Europe has also to provide a real European, let me say, immigration policy for highly qualified
Absolutely.
personalities. Yeah.
Absolutely. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for your time.
I thank you so much.
And win for us. You are our Spitzenkandidat.
Thank you so much.